Big one. Two things. Trump has literally been targeted again. He's doing he's doing one of his rallies. They were doing the sweeps around, and thank God they did this, because remember, they didn't do this for the golf course where he was almost assassinated, but they did do this for the rally. They found a car bomb beside the road where the rally was being held at. I've got the video to show you exactly where the car was at. This is so bad. Trump's safety is at stake. There's been leaked details that the Secret Service, again, did not use drones to surveil the area before Trump went out to play golf at the Trump International Golf Course, just like they didn't use drones to help make sure that he was secure in Butler, Pennsylvania. The Secret Service has a lot of explaining to do, but we'll get into the details that they have today. The Democrats have said they are willing to let the government shut down because they don't want voter IDs in the law. This tells you where their priorities lie and that they are willing to forego putting America first because they want to allow for non-citizens to vote in some form or fashion because they won't allow voter ID require that. We also have it where the Biden administration has literally granted mass parole to over 1 million illegal immigrants today. That's getting free housing assistance, free cell phones, free internet, free Medicare, free health care. They're trying to fly this under the radar. Somebody picked it up, and now they're trying to get them to be able to vote by November 5th. So lots of big breaking news today. Just want to say thank you to everybody that is watching. Thank you to all of our subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button, because today is a special day. At least I think it is. It's my birthday. So thank you to everybody who's supporting the channel on my birthday. I love it. I want to thank God for another year of life. Thank God for my family. Thank God for all of his blessings, for all that he's done for me. I couldn't thank him enough. And I just want to say that I'm so thankful for this channel. If you don't mind joining us in our fight to do good, the links are in the description to join the True Life News family. Also, too, just want to say thank you to all the super chats that have been donated on this channel. We are truly grateful. I'm excited about today. It's been a blessing of a day already, but I'm here to work and serve you even on my birthday. So let's get right into it. Love y'all. And we're going to check this out because this is huge, huge breaking news. Trump was targeted again. Check it out.
To the second assassination attempt against former President Donald Trump. Mr. Speaker, I know that you were with the former president just moments after the attempt on his life on Sunday. What did you make of his mood? I know it takes a lot to rattle this man, but how is he doing?
Listen, he is an incredible singular figure in American history. My wife and I, Kelly and I, were happened to be at Mar-a-Lago to meet with him. We spent almost 3 hours with him immediately following the assassination attempt. He was completely unrattled. He's the same steady Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing about him. There's never been a leader in American history who has been so aggressively attacked and yet remains 100%. So resilient and so strong. Donald Trump is fighting for the American people, and there's not anything they can do, even taking shots at the man, that will deter him. And so that's why we love him so much, and that's why we're supporting him, and that's why he's going to help us lead to save this republic.
There are reports out there this morning, Mr. Speaker, that you contacted the White House yesterday to ask why Donald Trump's protection detail hasn't been beefed up. Are those reports true?
This is huge.
Absolutely. I called the White House directly, and I demanded that President Trump get the same level of protection that the sitting president has. He's under so much threat, more than anybody, probably in the modern era, if ever. We have to make sure that the Secret Service is getting the job done. And if they have a personnel problem and we need to supplement it with local and state law enforcement, let's do that. If Congress needs to add a little bit more funding, let's do that. Whatever it takes, get the job done and protect President Trump, for crying out loud.
Okay, couple of questions. You announced yesterday that you're expanding the investigation into assassination attempt number 1 to include assassination attempt number 2. So now Butler, PA and West Palm Beach, Florida will get the same attention. When does the public start to get questions answered? And I'm talking about basic questions. When we look at the guy who would be assassin number 2, Ryan Ruth in West Palm Beach, here are just a couple questions. How does an unemployed roofer living in Hawaii afford a flight to Florida, afford flights to Washington, D.C. over the last several months, and Ukraine? Don't forget, this guy's a Ukraine fanatic. Who's paying for all this? Where was he staying in Florida? Where did he get that Nissan SUV? Where did he get the gun? This is somebody who had a weapons of mass destruction arrest on his record. So if he bought this gun, how did he do that? And how did he know Donald Trump was going to be on the golf course on Sunday morning? That was not part of his public calendar. Again, Mr. Speaker, I know that you're pressing for these answers, but we just passed 60 years since Kennedy was killed, and more than 80% of Americans think that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't act alone. John Wilkes Booth did not act alone. When are we going to start to get answers to just basic questions?
Great, Rob. You're exactly right. The reason I put together that task force and that they're moving so aggressively is because we don't want this to be like a Kennedy assassination conspiracy thing. We've got to get the answers to the American people. Mike Kelly is the chairman of the task force. He is from Butler, Pennsylvania. He's served in Congress for many years. He's got steady hands on the wheel. We did a quick presser yesterday with Hill Press Corps, but they're going to be beginning now weekly press availability to explain the answers that are coming in as they are gathered. You asked some of the right questions. That's some on pages of questions that we have about this. And the thing about this second attempt is we have the shooter live in custody. That's a very rare thing. So we will be able to get those answers and get them to the American people. The main principle here is we have to ensure that the massive security lapses that happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, and obviously some lapses that happened on Sunday in Florida never happen again. That's the thing.
Isn't it sad, though, that it takes Representative Mike Johnson to call the White House to tell Biden to get them and the team to actually get more Secret Service for Trump? Like, that's how bad it is in this politics game. And I'm about to show you the article of where they found the explosives in the car that was going to be a car bomb at the Trump rally. This is bad.
Got to make sure that Trump is protected and all of our officials are protected. And that's why the task force is doing this really important work. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to ask if you have any concerns about Ryan Ruth's safety between now and trial. Again, I brought up Lee Harvey Oswald, and I bring that up because he never made it to trial after the Kennedy assassination. Do you have any concerns there?
Well, I think we all have concerns, Rob, but I do believe that given the past history of all this, there's very careful custody of this individual. He has a lot of information that we all need, and to secure the president and the former president and everyone going forward, we've got to learn what we can from this individual. I think he'll be well protected. I certainly hope and demand that that's true. But in the meantime, the task force is doing really deliberate work. They've already collected thousands of documents regarding the Butler, Pennsylvania event. They've questioned 23 witnesses already, and they're going to be preparing reports. But before the final report is produced, there'll be information forthcoming now every week now here forward. This is serious business. It's gotten the attention of the whole world.
Yes.
We got to make sure we do this right.
All right.
Big time. And I'm telling you, this is huge, what I'm about to show you right here. But I want to say real quick, thank you, Brenda Burciago, for the super chat. Such a blessing every time y'all bless us. Everybody show Brenda some love in the chat. Also, Tracy Garner, welcome to the True Life News family, as well as Tina Marie L. Y'all show them some love in the chat, everybody, because we all make this come together. We all make this come alive, and we all represent that freedom that the United States represents. But right here you see cops find the explosives in a car near Trump rally on the Long Island after second assassination attempt. They're coming after him big time. They're not going to stop. That's why he needs the most Secret Service he can get. He needs the most protections. Go buy a dang drone at Walmart so that Trump can be protected. Because if not, something really bad is going to happen and people are going to get hurt. And it's like, they keep dropping the ball. Nobody's getting fired, but they actually got promoted. The people that have been protecting Trump actually got promoted. It's crazy today. Listen to this.
Made in the management of the Secret Service. Folks, people just got promotions yesterday. There is a division of the Secret Service. You have protective intelligence, investigations, you have basically their internal affairs, then you have protective operations. Protective operations is the branch of the Secret Service that runs, guess what? Protective operations. Shocker. What a coincidence. Do you realize yesterday the promotion list came out? And all of the people on that in that protective operations branch got promoted. The deputy assistant director to assistant director. One of the assistant directors is now the deputy director. If you're scratching your head saying, what the needs to happen here? I keep telling you, nothing is going to happen. not with the Biden team, because they never fire anyone. They don't want you to know how incompetent the government is, how the Secret Service management has failed, so they just let this happen. More breaking news from Susan Crabtree, who's one of the few reporters who's been all over this Secret Service story. This is just, I'm trying to really tamp down the, this is astonishing. Did we not on this show tell you after Butler County, Pennsylvania, that if you don't have aerial dominance from a surveillance point of view and from an aerial dominance point of view, in that you can keep an aerial threat like a drone, say a small plane that wants to crash on your site. How many times did we tell you after Butler County, if you don't have aerial dominance, you don't own the site? Did you all, folks in the chat, did you hear my show over and over? You don't own the air and you don't own what's underground. If there is something underground, like in New York, where we have subways and stuff, then you don't own your site.
Yes.
This is crazy. This is like nuts. Like we have to mention movies and stuff because the Secret Service's lack of imagination. You ever see that movie? You guys ever see that movie Salt with Angelina Jolie? She's the Russian assassin. How does she get the Russian president? Do you remember the movie? She goes underground in the subway, detonates, and he falls through the ground. It's insane that we've got to start citing movies to say to the Secret Service, you know that kind of stuff can happen, right? You don't get paid to think, will it happen? You get paid to think, can it happen?
Yes.
Because if it can happen, you have to think of a way to freaking stop it. Drone surveillance using thermals and IR will pick out a guy on a roof and a guy in a wood line.
100%.
How do you not know this? Susan Crabtree tweet. From what Ron Rose said yesterday, the Secret Service did not have a drone flying to surveil a golf course before discovering a man was lying in the bushes for 12 hours with a rifle pointed at Donald Trump. A source in the Secret Service community said, someone asked why the drones weren't used on Sunday, and Secret Service leadership said they weren't needed. And they did a good job. Oh, we got to take a break. I mean, leave the stream, but I genuinely don't know what to tell you right now. I don't because I can't fix this. The Biden team's not interested, obviously, in anything I have to say, because of my politics, which I understand. The Secret Service is obviously not interested in anything I have to say, despite having seen every angle of this. Having seen the political side, the security side, the PPD side, the training side. I'm telling you with certainty, this is not even the last incident today, the one that happened today. There are going to be more. Because the people running the Secret Service, say this. I've told you, I've been through this before. When they threw the grenade on stage at President George W. Bush, for 2 weeks, there was because they overran the magnetometers. For 2 weeks, they were like, we got to get more magnetometers. And then you know what happened 2 weeks later? They went right back to normal. You know what's going to happen after Assassination 1? What happened after Assassination Attempt 2? They went right back to normal. You know what's going to happen after the bombs are found today? Nothing. In 2 weeks, going to go right back to normal. I don't know what to tell you guys. If you're sitting there going, Dan, someone's going to get killed. Yep. Here, I want to read you something. This is important. What's that?
This is big.
Someone's talking to him? Oh, well, yeah, Corey Comparator voice guy. I want to read this to you. This is very important. This is from an agent friend of mine. Because I want you to know that it is the management doing this. The guys on the ground do not want to be there with a freaking bomb next to them or a sniper in the wood line. I know we're sick of this, especially with the FBI, and I get it. Oh, the rank and file, I understand. I'm telling you, in this case, it's true. You think an agent with a wife and kids who wants to go see his kid's birthday party or the soccer game wants to be sitting there with a guy with an SKS in the wood line? This is from a friend in the Secret Service.
In the
very
Secret
familiar,
Service.
let's just say.
Because one thing I have to say is just imagine you're there and you're like, all right, Trump's going to go play some golf. We got to protect him. What's protocol? All right, we need to probably fly a drone. No, we're not going to do that. But we're supposed to fly a drone. That's protocol. We got to check the perimeter. No, don't worry about it. And then the other person, wait, don't we always fly drones? Don't worry about it, guys. We're just going to go through. It's nobody knows about it, so he'll be fine. He'll be okay. Don't worry about it. That's how these conversations are happening, because listen to this, what a person from the Secret Service has actually told Bongino.
Let your audience know that the good, brave, dedicated agents who gave their hearts, souls, and health to the Secret Service are disgusted with the state of the management. They're a disgrace to he mentioned some really good agents. Good men who live with the embarrassment of the current incompetence every day. Pardon the language here, but this is his words, and I'd be remiss if I didn't read them directly. Clowns, let him quit, let him twist. Keep sticking it to him, Dan. Thanks, bro. Obviously not going to say who it is. So, folks, I'm sorry, but don't tell me this is everyone. It is not. These guys are tired of a management team who won't give them the assets. A guy sent me an email during my radio show yesterday, or a message on the Rumble account. And he said, Dan, the way I find my dog in the woods, he lives in a wooded area, is I send a drone up with a thermal. And I find out where the dog is in 30 seconds. To the Secret Service management, I know you watch my show. What is it going to take for you to engage in a cranial rectotomy and pull your head out of your and realize that you're going to get the guy killed, the guy being Donald Trump?
This is so real.
And you're issuing promotions yesterday? Some coffee, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. And yet the Secret Service management, guys like Ron Rowe and others, will make these little snide attacks directed at me just because someone wore the badge. Maybe I know what I'm talking about and you're freaking incompetent. Does that ever occur to you? Maybe if you would have listened to me about the drones because I had my head at my end, then you wouldn't have had a guy hiding in the wood line for 12 hours.
I want to turn
Maybe
now.
if you would have pushed out your perimeter, you wouldn't have found some explosives again today.
Right there. Hey, Big Dog DFW, thank you so much for the birthday gift. Thank you so much, brother. Hey, show Big Dog some love in the chat, everybody. Let's go.
Another one. New York Post. Secret Service said it can't keep Trump safe on golf courses, even as Biden lounges on the beaches. This, my friends, is an embarrassing disgrace to humanity. The Secret Service, if they would apply minimal security, a freaking drone in the air with imaging equipment, none of this would have happened. Why don't they do it? Producer Jim? Because they don't want to. Because they don't want to. And they'll get a promotion out of this. Yet again. Folks, this is an absolute...
It's absolutely disgusting. You know that they know protocols. You know that they know that there's certain things that need to be done in order to make sure there's ultimate safety. But they're not doing them. They're electing to not do the dang, just normal protocols. We got to check the area. We got to make sure there's nobody out there. Why would we not send out drones to go and surveil? It makes no sense whatsoever. It's so bad that there are a lot of Democrats that are now coming out and saying, this is ridiculous. All these other politicians, these progressive liberals that don't want to make sure that Trump is safe, don't want to make sure that these candidates are safe, we've got to do something about it. That's how bad it's getting. Check this out.
Fox News alert now, lawmakers sounding the alarm over
wait 1 second. Let me show you real quick the area where so this is the area where they found it. the explosives in the car. Now they've done cleared it out and they've got the cop cars around there. People are coming in, but this is where they found it. This is where people were at. Imagine if that thing would have went off where people were walking by. I don't want to imagine. I don't want to think about it. People's lives would have been lost. This is how dangerous things are getting. This is how we have too many dumb people out there, and we got to be as safe as possible. We got to take every precaution. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Information from DHS and Secretary Mayorkas on the Trump assassination attempts. Even Democrat Senator Richard Blumenthal saying this.
I am reaching the point of total outrage because the
Total
response
outrage.
from the Department of Homeland Security has been totally lacking. In fact, I think it's tantamount to stonewalling in many respects. If necessary, I'll certainly support a subpoena.
Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez sits on the
You just heard Connecticut Democrat who said this, I am outraged. We're not hearing anything from the guy up top, Mayorkas. What the heck is going on? Why do they keep stonewalling us?
Homeland Security Committee, and he joins us now. Congressman, good morning to you. So Senator Blumenthal brings up raises a really good question here, and that is, where is DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas been on all of this? If he oversees the Secret Service, shouldn't he be at the forefront of this response, both publicly at press conferences and also privately, as Senator Blumenthal is requesting him to be?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yes, you bring up a great point. You know, it's pure madness to think that the government has successfully protected President Trump. I mean, it's clearly that hasn't occurred.
No.
Sitting on the sitting on the House Appropriations Committee, one of the things that frustrates me is the first question is always, well, Tony, if you only give us more money, we'll do a better job. That's the wrong approach. It needs to be, what are the policies? What are the procedures? And
all right, guys, they need more money. Let's see, a drone costs about $500. You don't think they can go get $500 to go buy a dang drone to go and surveil the area and make sure that Trump's safe? It's all a bunch of...
Secretary Mayorkas is the head of DHS. We just had 2 assassination attempts against a former president of the United States and a current leading candidate. I mean, this is out of a movie. I mean, we're the president,
Yeah.
We're the United States of America. DHS Secretary Mayorkas has to step up, and he has to get that organization back on track, or he needs to be gone.
So what can you do in Congress to force his hand?
Yeah.
It truly is about the power of the purse. It's not just writing a blank check anytime somebody tells you, well, you know, we had an issue, we only need more resources. There's always more to the equation than just more resources, and we have to push it, like Senator Blumenthal mentioned, in a bipartisan manner. This is about protecting our election system and protecting the former president of the United States. If we can't get that right, there's so much more that happens behind it. But it's really about the House using the power of the purse to subpoena, bring these people before, and say, what have you done from the first assassination attempt to the second assassination attempt? What have you done to change things? And what are you doing to prevent anyone else from being harmed in any form or fashion?
Yeah, it's clear that acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe is being more transparent about all of this, but his boss has been MIA, I mean, completely missing in action when it comes to the public, the forward-facing response. And now we're learning a lot of questions remain privately as well when it comes to hearings and questions being asked on Capitol Hill as well. Okay, so let's talk about the election, because it is in 48 days, if you can believe it.
That is
and
crazy.
Kamala Harris sat down with 3 reporters who are part of the National Association of Black Journalists yesterday. Donald Trump spoke with the organization, the group, in July, and the treatment that both candidates received was very different. Listen to this.
You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. Why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that? fact,
for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Opponent and Republicans have at times weaponized you laughing. Why is joy important to you to insert into this election?
Wow.
There's sometimes when your adversaries will try and turn your strength into a weakness. Don't you let them.
What's your reaction, Congressman?
I don't know about y'all. I see her speak and it makes me cringe. It's like there's like just But you see the total difference, completely different and biased with Trump and Kamala Harris.
This is why so many people love President Trump, is he is not afraid to go into tough environments and honestly deliver the truth, a truthful message, and push back against some of these narratives that some of these outlets try to create. And it's very evident. I mean, you watch those two clips, you see the debate is probably another prime example. Mm-hmm. You see these things, and the American public they see it firsthand, the differences in how conservative members get treated. How the former president's getting treated, President Trump is getting treated, and with the kid gloves that they're treating the current vice president. It's just very evident, and I also think it enrages people. It gets people excited, or it gets them upset, and gets them off the couch, which is exactly what we need in order to win this election. Not only the president, we have to take the Senate, we have to take the House, we have to take our country back.
It's all about voter mobilization. Congressman Tony Gonzalez.
Let me tell you this. What you're about to see next, because I'm telling you, they've been planning this the entire time. They didn't just let 11 plus million illegals into the country for nothing. They knew an election was coming up. They knew that people were not going to like Biden or Kamala Harris. Watch this, because the Biden administration has just granted over 1 million illegals parole into citizenship within the United States. Just happened today. It's breaking news. Check this out.
In every single restaurant, of the people willing to talk to us, we could only find one Harris supporter in every restaurant, and we left no stone unturned.
I'm extremely concerned about the border. Illegals, they gotta go.
People are coming here seeking asylum.
Baloney. They're coming here for the freebies.
There are people who have come here legally. Why do they get pushed aside to allow people who have not even worked one day in our country, have not paid into the system?
Rosie Martins is originally from Mexico. Her husband Gary is from Portugal.
If you're not following the rules, then you don't have nothing to do in this country.
Tonight's red hot video, that was CBS News, and they were very hard pressed to find Kamala Harris supporters at the restaurants that they visited in the great state of Nevada. As you heard, immigration was a top concern with voters there, the diners there, and this year alone, over 530,000 Haitians, Venezuelans, and Cubans and Nicaraguans have been granted legal status, even though they came in illegally, under a mass parole plan. Another 800,000 migrants are also expected to be released into the country under this program. Now, keep in mind that these numbers don't even count toward the...
Look at that amount of people. And they're not being vetted. They're not going through the normal process. Tracy J. Norby, thank you so much for the super chat. Everybody show Tracy some love. Guys, y'all are blessing us so much today. I'm so happy. Look, I'm loving serving y'all every day. Even on my birthday, I'm here to serve y'all, to make sure that you're informed. But thank y'all so much for the super chats. Everybody show Big Dog and Tracy some love in the chat.
Illegal crossings coming into the country. Most are given a free 2-year stay in the United States, but if you think that they're going anywhere at the end of those 2 years, then, think again. A new Department of Homeland Security Inspector General report found that no one at DHS is monitoring the...
Hey, Tarina Smith, thank you so much for that blessing, hoping you're having a great birthday. I am. I'm having a wonderful birthday. I love it. God has blessed me and my family so much to be able to do what we're doing and to be here to serve y'all. I love y'all so much. Show Tarina some love in the chat, everybody.
migrant parole expiration dates. Surprise, surprise. So it'll be, I think, what are we talking about? 1.3 million there.
Wow.
And nobody in our government is paying any attention at all, and we don't check the people out before they come into the country. And if you raise an eyebrow, then they yell at you that you're a racist.
Right. Well, there's no vetting. We know that people on the terrorist watch lists are coming through our border. Listen, I'm from South Florida, where my graduating class, there was more Jean-Baptiste, Gonzalez, and Rodriguez in the graduating class. We appreciate migrants in this country, but we want them to come legally. That's not a hard thing to ask. It's not racist to say that. Listen, I'm also Puerto Rican, you know, and we sympathize for Hispanic communities, but we have to do it legally. And this is all American people are saying. We have a crisis at our border. We have a situation where 13+ million people are in this country, taking away our resources. Look at hospitals, look at crime, look at what they're doing in schools. And they're putting in communities, especially communities that are hurting. Something has to be done. And Donald Trump did it once, he'll do it again.
That is
honestly,
huge.
you know, Ellis Island, the famous Ellis Island, everybody knows, I think, was open for about 64 years. A total of 12 million people came through Ellis Island into the United States over more than 6 decades. And they came in legally, by the way, and were checked out and vetted and for health and everything else.
Right.
And this administration could match that 12 million number in just 4 years.
I didn't know Harrison was Puerto Rican. He's almost perfect if he would have been Cuban, but that's a different story. No, but look, it's out of control, right? America's a very generous country, okay? We have 1 million immigrants that come here legally, that stand in line, that apply, and they are frustrated to watch that people are coming in illegally. And you know what? I was at the border. I spoke to those individuals entering our country illegally. It was about the economy. It's because they wanted to come here for jobs. It wasn't because of asylum or political persecution. No, they pay these drug cartels, they pay these other individuals to let them come in, and it's just a very broken system.
It certainly is. You know, Venezuelan dictator, socialist, glory boy, Nicolas Maduro, he isn't taking back any of the illegal aliens and gang members out of his country.
The Glenn Hutchcraft, thank you so much for the super chat. It says you're amazing. Hey, y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I'm so thankful for you all. I never imagined that I'd be able to do this, and I'm just so grateful because this is a blessing to me and my family. Thank y'all so much. Everybody show Glenn some love in the chat because I'm telling you this. We need some fixing in America. We need some better leadership. Listen to this. This is what I love because when you have somebody who can give a straight answer on how to actually fix things, who knows how the economy works, that's what you're getting with Trump. Check this out.
Trump, thank you for taking our question.
Thank you.
My name is Barbara. I'm a mom of 3, a grandmother of 7, and 3 great-grands, a registered nurse, retired nurse. So I know the cost that goes into raising children and running a household.
Yeah.
People just can't survive now.
That's so true.
How are you going to bring down the cost of food and groceries?
Good. Very good. Thank you. So we have to start always with energy. Always. I don't want to be boring about it, but there's no bigger subject. It covers everything. If you make donuts, if you make cars, whatever you make, energy is a big deal. And we're going to get that. It's my ambition to get your energy bill within 12 months down 50%. If I can do that, you've done a hell of a job. 5-0, not 15, 50.
That's
Interest
huge.
rates are going to follow, and actually they're going to follow for another reason. The economy is now not good. And interest rates, you'll see they'll do the rate cut and all the political stuff tomorrow, I think. And, you know, will he do a half a point? Will he do a quarter of a point? But the reason is because the economy is not good. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do it. But we're going to get interest rates down, and we got to work with our farmers. Our farmers are being decimated right now. They're being absolutely decimated. And, you know, one of the reasons is we allow a lot of farm product into our country, and we're going to have to be a little bit like other countries. We're not going to allow so much come. We're going to let our farmers go to work.
Yes.
And I don't know if you remember, I love the farmers because, I had many meetings as president. I have this gorgeous room with this beautiful table that seats about 35 people. And I was with the farmers. Usually everybody wants something. They all want subsidy. But I was with the farmers. And I think you might have been there, actually, Sarah. I said, look, fellas, we're going to get you such a beautiful subsidy, meaning I'm going to do things. And one of the people raises it, sir, honestly, we don't want a subsidy. This is the first time this ever happened to me. Everyone they want money, they want to build windmills. We want money with these windmills. Anyway, but you know what? It was amazing. He said, almost tears in his eyes, they were getting decimated. We don't want a subsidy. We just want to play, a fair, level playing field. Mm-hmm. And I said, nobody's ever said that. And I have many industries and many groups of people from different things. They do all different things. It's probably the most dramatic I've ever seen. He didn't want anything. All he wanted was to be able to compete fairly. Interest rates, energy, and common sense. A lot of it's common sense.
I love that. That is and what people don't realize is that when he says energy, and he's elaborated on this more, is that it takes energy to make the food or to transport the food, gas, putting the diesel into the trucks to send the goods to wherever they're going. It takes energy to keep the lights on. It takes energy to make all this stuff. Like every single point, energy is involved, and that's why he's saying you got to start with energy. You lower gas prices, you lower the cost to make this stuff, electricity bills, things like that. It makes everything cheaper. It's economics. It's economics 101. But what I love is that he's not stopping there. So, he's got RFK who's joining in the mix, and RFK makes a bombshell of because, everybody's wondering, what are you actually going to do? What are you, what step-by-step plans are you actually going to do? And RFK lays it out right here. Check this out.
Envision your role in a Trump administration. President Trump has asked me specifically to do two things. One, to help unravel the capture of the agencies by corrupt influence. In other words, to drain the swamp.
Drain the swamp.
And, I got to say something about President Trump. President Trump has some extraordinary gifts, and one of them is that he has very, very good instincts. And that when he came out the first time, you remember, he was very against the lockdowns publicly. He was for hydroxychloroquine. He was for alternative medicines. He was against the masks. He was doing, but he was surrounded by bureaucrats.
Yes.
Knowledgeable experts who, ultimately pushed back on those assumptions and got us into some policies that I think were really bad for our country. He's not going to do that again. And he wanted to end the wars. He said back then, we don't want to go into the Ukraine war. I'd rather make a deal than have a war. So I think that, and he's asked me to do that, and he's asked me to help him end the chronic disease epidemic and make Americans healthy again.
I love it. That is huge, huge, huge. So wonderful. I'm telling you, this is where we're moving towards the health of the country, the viability of our kids, making sure they're eating healthy foods, making sure that no heart disease, things like that. I love it. And just want to say again, thank you to everybody for the birthday wishes. Thank you so much. Y'all are so amazing. I love being able to do this, even on my birthday, and being able to be here for y'all. I just love it. Because a lot of people told me, they're like, Joel, you going to take a day off? You ain't going to do no videos? You ain't going to do no YouTube? I said, nope. I said, because guess what? We got to take care of the community. I'm there to serve them. Always. Always be here for y'all. Check this out. Oh, sorry, y'all.
Stand the man. Hillary is obsessed. She's very upset that the media doesn't have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Donald Trump is, how dangerous he is, what an existential threat he is, and so she's mad at the media. She's mad at everybody. It's almost as though this man they've just tried to kill him for a second time. It's almost as though she won't be happy.
Tracy J. Norby, you are too kind to me. Everybody show Tracy some love in the chat. He said, do a little lot of good with my blessing for your work here. Hey, I'm telling y'all, when y'all get to see the stuff that we're working on to give back and to do some good, positive things in this world, this channel is going to be more than just reporting news. We're going to make a difference and we're going to take action. Appreciate you, Tracy. Everybody that's given a donation, you are such a blessing.
Until there's a bounty on Donald Trump's head. And these people are so angry that even today, when Peter Doocy asked Karine Jean-Pierre about, it's really not a good idea that you are actually out there saying that, calling him a threat. And then Karine Jean-Pierre says, well, you know what? The question in itself is dangerous. The Democrats are obsessed. They want to spook him. They want to keep him off the rallies. They don't want him playing golf. They don't want him out at all. They want the whole field to go to Kamala, as if they don't understand the man. This is a man who goes into the lion's den, pokes the lion, and comes out with maybe his tie shoveled, is messed up a little. But this is the guy who actually wins.
Yes.
And he's the only guy who could care less about this and is going to keep going forward. But
Judge, I can interrupt a lot of people, but I can't interrupt you. Like, it's impossible. Like, you and I together would be scary. Like, if we were on stage together, no one would get a word in. No, I'm just teasing. So that moment between Doocy and Karine Jean-Pierre, let's play it for everybody because it was that rich.
Good.
How many more assassination attempts on Donald Trump until the president and the vice president and you pick a different word to describe Trump other than threat?
I actually completely disagree with the premise of your question, the question that you're asking. It is also incredibly dangerous. We're not just saying that just to say it. January 6th, Peter. January 6th. Wait, January 6th.
See,
wow. That's her answer, January 6th. Charlottesville, January 6th, Charlottesville.
What about Minnesota? What about all the protest? All the people's lives that were changed forever from the BLM protest? What about all that? What about all the homeless veterans?
And he's a threat to democracy. They won't be happy until they silence him. They won't be happy until he is off the field. And let's not kid each other. This guy, Ruth, with the Secret Service, he's already patting themselves on the back when he actually admitted that because this wasn't a planned event at the golf course, that they didn't have security that they normally would have. So, I mean, right now...
Yeah, we're going to get into that. Yeah, we're going to get into that in a minute.
Danger zone.
But, Judge, the idea that the Trump supporters are the ones who are filled with rage, they're dangerous, so their rhetoric has to be monitored and punished according to Hillary. And she's just the leading indicator of what they really want to do.
Yeah.
But when you go to Trump events, they're really fun. I mean, people are having a good time. They're laughing. They're flying the American flag. But when you come up against a committed leftist, they're never happy. I mean, they were happy during COVID because they could stay home and just order DoorDash and binge on Netflix, and no one was going to church, so they were happy then. But other than that, they're not really happy people.
They're not happy people. And you know what? They don't like the freedoms that Donald Trump represents. They don't like the fact that Donald Trump feels that people should be able to say whatever they want. People should be able to have a gun. People should be able to love America. People should be able to protect their country and make it a sovereign nation and keep illegals out. We should be able to identify illegal migrant crime when it occurs.
Right there.
But the left doesn't want to know about that. The left will not be happy until we're on a course to socialism. And Kamala Harris is not the person who can beat Donald Trump. The only way she can beat Donald Trump is if they get him off the field. And that's what they want.
I think there are a lot of Americans tonight who are very disturbed and very afraid. that something will happen to Donald Trump between now and the election.
Oh, God
so he's
forbid.
speaking in Flint, Michigan tonight. I said Arkansas, but it's Flint, Michigan. And he seems like he's in a great mood. But people are worried. I have friends saying, I can't sleep at night. I'm so worried about what's going to happen to him. But the Democrats seem just blissfully like, oh no, he didn't have him in the line of sight. You know, it's your fault because you guys are so hateful. Judge, quickly.
What they do is they make it like it was no big deal. Go ahead with your Sunday because they don't want you even focusing on it. I'm scared. America's scared. This will be the end of this country if we take down a man who is going to win for president because the left doesn't like him. And everything leading up to this is predicting something terrible. But you know what? We've seen divine intervention in the past.
Yes.
And I totally believe that this president will be able to get through to the election, this former president to be.
And that's true. We got prayers for Trump. Prayer for the team, for the family, things like that. Because again, too, a lot of people have said, if I was Trump, I wouldn't even go out. 2 people try to take out his life? No, that's not cool. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching today. Y'all have been such a blessing. If you're not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm so blessed to be serving you today. I want to give some shout outs to those new members of the channel, Tina and Tracy. Remember, the link is in the description. We're going to be doing a video very shortly in the next week over our first donation from the channel to a big cause that is changing the United States for good to help out kids. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. It's a huge, wonderful cause, and we're going to do it because you're supporting this channel. The link is in the description to join the True Life News family. Just want to say thank you to Brenda, Tracy, Tracy J, Norby, Tarina, Glenn Hutchcraft, Big Dog, for your blessings of the super chats today. Guys, it's my birthday. I'm the big. How old do y'all think I am? Look, let's do this. How old do you think I am? Put it in the chat. I got 3 kids. I got twins, twin 11-month-old, or almost a year old, and a 3-year-old daughter, beautiful wife, and such beautiful blessings. I thank God for another year of life. I thank God for this community and what God is doing. And I want to continue serving you, continue pushing for what that flag represents, freedom, the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and just make sure that we can make America great again. Love you all. Thank you for all your support. Remember, tell me, how do you think I am? And then I'll tell you in the next video. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. And, yep, there's going to be another one. I'll